Shalom. Call Haloyam La Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rachak Kodash. Bakta Yahweh, Bakta Yahushai, Bakta Rachak Kodash, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rachak Kodash. Shalom and double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elder bishops and the elders in the Akim and the Akwa of the hopeful elect. Shalom. Now, things are ramping up more and more by the day. I just want to go ahead and get this quick article, quick update, the latest movement going on over there. As World War III is escalating to a fever pitch, and only a matter of time, Lord willing, in the spirit, that Russia gets involved as well. It's just the latest heavy hitter, is stepping up in this World War III escalation of Iran. And that's the top ally of Russia, along with China as well, So, so heading to pretty much almost a co-main event with the Iran as the second top or tied for second with China, with as being allies with Russia. Russia is Gog is the modern day Medes, and the Persians are the Iranians, with China right there as well with them. As a three-headed monster, really the top three, enemies of America, Babylon the Great, and America's top ally is Israel. They bet, the pseudo, the made up Israel over there. So we'll go ahead and read some of this article, grab some precepts, and go ahead and close out. So it says Iran warns America will be hit hard if no Gaza ceasefire is implemented. So Iran backs, Hamas and Hezbollah, and those are Muslim religion countries. All of the Muslims and Arabs are being united now with this with these acts that's been going on. So and Russia just sitting back, just biding the time and waiting until until they must absolutely have to jump in, and full-fledged World War III is in full motion. It says Iran has issued a chilling threat to the United States, telling them it will be hit hard if no ceasefire is implemented in Gaza, amid new fears that Israel's war on Hamas and Gaza could escalate. So, ever since that day of the attack of Hamas, it's been an onslaught, a heavy onslaught, and Iran now having to step in, because it's pretty much like bullying, at this point, and telling them to go ahead and cut out all of this this slaughtering. It says Mohammed Reza Ashtiani, Israel's Minister of Defense, emphasized the urgency, stating, "Our advice to the Americans is to halt the war in Gaza and implement a ceasefire immediately. Otherwise, they will be hit hard." We know we're at the end because no nation has ever spoken like this to the whore, because the scriptures speak about the nation say, "Who can make war with the whore?" Who can make war with her? Because with Babylon and Great America. But now these nations are no longer afraid of the whore because they see the weakness in all of the alphabet community, the rainbow people, and women in the army. And this place is just falling on. It's just the deterioration of this society is quite evident and alarming, and everyone see that, and they all have been laying low, developing weapons over the last, over the decades now, and now they're ready and they're speaking boldly now, with Russia as their big brother. They know they got their big brother Russia in their back pocket to step in when it's needed. It says right here, it says that they want a ceasefire because it's been an onslaught nonstop. With Israel just going forward. You know, ferociously, sparing nothing, pretty much. It says right here, but Mr. Blicken rejected a ceasefire. And who is Mr. Blicken? They call him, they didn't even say his full name, but that's Secretary of State Antony Blicken. He's basically the, it's like he's the, basically like the spokesman for the foreign nations representing the United States, and the president handpicks selects the Secretary of State. So whatever he says is he's echoing. He's basically the mouthpiece for the brain of America. Which is the president and the military, so forth, and all of the Congress. So Mr. Blicken rejected a ceasefire, insisting it would only give Iranian-backed Hamas a chance to regroup following its horrific attack on Israel on October 7th. So that's what they're going to really just hinge everything on, just calling it such a terrible thing. Well, if that's so terrible, and what about when they bombed Black Wall Street over here, and the 500 years of slavery? How much worse is that, right? But they're hypocrites, killing 1,400 civilians and taking more than 240 hostage. Well, they have hundreds of millions hostage over here. America does, right? Their own tongue condemn themselves. They want to speak about that, which is on a far lesser scale. It pales in comparison to what's so-called whites have done to so-called blacks, Latinos, Native American Indians, the lost 12 tribes of Israel. But that's why they must be taken. That's why the Most High is going to destroy them, because of their striving against the Most High and Yahushai, and the destruction of His chosen nation, the Israelites. So Secretary of State, the spokesman, for America, pretty much rejected the ceasefire. But this is what he said he'll do instead. He says instead, Mr. Blicken pressed for quote unquote pauses in the fighting to allow civilians to evacuate from the battleground of Gaza City and the northern part of the enclave, which is being pounded with heavy Israeli artillery barrages as the war passes its 30th day. So already it's a month now. These days are flying by. So now the World War III is ramped up drastically in 30 days. And then here go this fake little hat dude right here. It says the uncompromising tone was echoed by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, the guy there, who pledged at an Air Force base there will be no ceasefire without the return of our hostages. We say this to both our enemies and our friends. We will continue until we beat them. Another senior Iranian government figure ramped up the tension with the West still further. So, and then because the serpent, it doesn't let up. Once they move, that they in full attack mode, and they're merciless, because most I say, blessed are the merciful, for they shall receive mercy. They are merciless. Edom, or they're merciless, but then they want mercy. They're the ultimate hypocrite. So it says, Mohammed Reza Naqvi, deputy leader of the powerful Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, said, if Israel's crimes continue, we should strike America's interests, without specifying how. So he didn't specify how they'll strike America, but America is dwelling carelessly over here, and they are very proud and bold in their actions, and have no mercy. They're justifying annihilating buildings with innocent men, women, and children in there, after just, one attack of a few people, they're trying to say, no telling, they always exaggerate numbers whenever it's for their benefit and their agenda to do some heinous, activity, right? So I'll leave this link to the article in the comment section. You can read it further, the rest of it if you want, but let's go ahead and grab some precepts and close out. So we'll go to Isaiah 47 and verse 7. And thou saidest, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither didst remember the latter end of it. See, because America think that they're going to last forever and never be touched and never have any kind of problems. But Iran is proving that they're that things are about to occur. Shall they not stop? And that's all biblical prophecy that they will, as we're reading here. Psalms 49 and 11. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names, and that's where you have America, which is named after Amerigo Vespucci. It's like Amerigo is the masculine version of America, and America is the feminine version of Amerigo. So, and all throughout, they name everything after their own names, and that's a part of the way you know who Esau Edom is. And they think that their country is going to last forever, from the proud rulers, the government, and then to their proud citizens. But that's not the case. Isaiah 47, and if you know, Isaiah 47 is speaking about the Edomites, Babylon the Great. Because when you read, I think it's Psalms 137 and verse 7, and around verse 7 through 9, Babylon, Edom is referenced as the daughter of Babylon. So this is going into Babylon the Great, America, Esau Edom. So Isaiah 47 and 8. Therefore hear now this, thou that art given to pleasures. And we know America is do as thou wilt. And that's how they teach in the Christianity churches, which keep the people sinning and, fulfilling the flesh. Thou that art given to pleasures, that dwellest carelessly. And we know America dwellest carelessly. That sayest in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. And that's that proud, blasphemous spirit they have. They think that they're the Esau Edom, the so-called white man, thinks he God, right? Because the Most High, he is. He exists, and he's the Ancient of Days. But they want to act like they're, the Most High. It says, I am, and none else beside me. And they think, they'll never be touched. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. So they think that they'll never be touched. But as Iran saying, they will be hit hard. They will be touched hard, right? So that's what's going to occur to them, and for what they've been doing. Verse 9, but these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day. And as we see things ramping up very quickly, and the Most High say he's going to come, return like a thief in the night, right? And so these things is coming up, and everyone is starting to see very sharply. This is hitting everyone smack in the face very sharply, everything's happening very swiftly. Verse 9, but these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood. They shall come upon thee in their perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries. That goes into that witchcraft through Hollywood, the spells cast through movies and television, and the music, evil, wicked music industry, especially that hip hop, and also that death metal, heavy metal crap, and all music, right? Because when you listen to the music, watch TV, watch movies, look at the internet, it's that's where they put that's their doctrine. And everyone, when you look at society and compare and filter society through Hollywood and music and internet and social media, everyone, when you walk around, they behave exactly like that because that's their doctrine, that's their religion, the sorceries of Esau Edom, the so-called white man. They shall come upon thee in their perfection for the multitude of thy sorceries and for the great abundance of thine enchantments. So everyone's enchanted under the sorcery and the warlocks and the witchcraft spells of Esau Edom. Because the little hats, they're the ones that own all of these, all the media and everything. You know, everything that we see, the media and movies and all that, that's all owned by the little hats. Those are the sorcerers of today. Let's see. Verse 10. For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness. Thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee. And thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. So, in verse 11, therefore shall evil come upon thee. Thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee. You know, that's destruction because, you know, that border, there's been tons of, there's been tons of Chinese, you know, Arabs, you know, Muslims, people with ties to Hamas and Russians and everything. They've been coming through the southern border of America over here, from coming up from South America, you know, from Mexico and other areas from down there, migrating through, just walking right on in. And there's a lot what they call sleeper cells. They just laying low until they are quote unquote activated when they get the word from, you know, Russia, China, Iran, and then you know, the Muslim leaders, Iran, the Muslim leaders, and everything that they had sent over here. So it's going to rise up over here, and they're not going to know from whence it come and where it arises. It's just going to be all out. It just one day, all of a sudden, like the scripture just said, in one moment, all of a sudden, in one day, boom, those sleeper cells going to be activated, and it's going to be all hell and pandemonium. But the elect will be preserved. We just sit back. You know, we'll say with popcorn, you know, like the scriptures say that the Most High is going to put a very different, cold, emotionless spirit, you know, not of fear, but just of the power from the confirmation of the Most High destroying this place. And the Most High say that at death thou shalt laugh. You know, it takes a very different spirit to laugh at death. You know, we're not going to be afraid because we know that this is the righteous judgment going forth and the things that must come to pass for this place to be shut down. And the Most High to go ahead and put it out its misery and deliver the elect. It's not me saying it, you know, it's the Most High saying it. And in the spirit, if the spirit's dealing with you, you'll be able to, you know, comprehend it and process it. Lord willing, you know, we're of that number. Because we will not know until the very end. Verse 12, stand now with thine enchantments. So let's go ahead and stand there, you know, you deceiving sorcerer, and with the multitude of thy sorceries, and wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. So from their early days, you know, as an infancy in a nation, of their nation to now, from the serpent. Now, you know, Revelation speaks to, I think it's Revelations 12 and 9 or 10, that mentions the serpent, the dragon, Satan, all of them, you know, in the same breath, because they're one and the same, because they were a serpent in the garden. That same spirit in that serpent is in Esau Edom, and then it morphed into this great dragon. Now that's the fully grown version of a serpent. You know, that's the, you know, from that serpent slithering to that flying dragon. You know, he's flying high too because of the military might, the Air Force and everything too. If so be thou shalt be able to profit, if so be thou mayest prevail. And we know that they will not prevail. In verse 13, thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels. You know, the Secretary of State, that Anthony Blinken guy, and Biden and all of his allies, they're stressed out. You can look at them, you can see the wear and tear of everything, because they're being stretched thin. And as more and more of Russia's allies, his little brothers, step in, you know, it's just going to be another war that they gotta. This is more just like the ancient Roman Empire. That was one of the main ways that the ancient Roman Empire fell, because they had so many wars that they had to continue to fight, and they had to continue to stretch out over here, stretch out over there, in this region, in this land, this country, because That was one of the reasons how they fell, and then they ran out of money, and that was one of the main ways how they fell because they were being stretched thin militarily, and they're about to be stretched out the most that they ever been now. Because they have the entire four corners of the Western Hemisphere, Europe, Africa, and Asia, all of their militaries and military bases in every parts of the earth. And it's going to be wars happening all throughout the earth, so they're going to be stretched real thin, just like the ancient Roman Empire did. Thou art weary in the multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, the monthly prognosticators stand up and save thee from these things that shall come upon thee, because they trust in their own precepts of men and not the precepts of the Most High, and they cast the words of the Most High behind his back. So now it's time for them to go ahead and stand and deal with it, because this is their own wickedness that they've done. It's going to come upon their own heads now as they're getting stretched thin by the Most High. So Jeremiah 50 and 14. Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about. All ye that bend the bow, shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she hath sinned against the Lord Yahweh. Against the Lord Yahweh. So that's what's rapidly approaching. Those arrows going into the thermonuclear missiles. Iran just said that they will be hit hard. And America think that they won't be hit, but they're unwalled. They have no walled villages. They have no, their anti-missile defense system will not work. That's biblical prophecy as well in Joel chapter 2 and verse 8. Isaiah 41 and 14. Fear not, thou worm Jacob, because a worm is a very exposed, vulnerable creature, right? And that's who we are, the Israelites. Liken us to a worm. We're very vulnerable, but the Most High told us not to fear, because He's going to protect us. And ye men of Israel, I will keep thee, saith the Lord Yahweh Bahasham, Yahushai, and thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. So we are not to fear and worry, because Most High got our back. It's perilous times, but the Most High said, at death and fear that thou shalt laugh. Let me see if I can find it real quick. That wasn't one of my precepts, but let's see. Okay, cool. So Job chapter 5 and verse 22. At destruction and famine thou shalt laugh, because that famine, that food, quote unquote food insecurity that that they claim, they say, we just know that that's the the famine that Most High has hit this earth with, especially over here now as well in Babylon, America, at destruction, and that's that destruction coming soon of the economy and apocalyptic times, and then the ultimate destruction of Iran, saying that they're going to hit America hard if they don't, back up. At destruction and famine, well, because it's going to be rockets and stuff. It's going to be a lot of artillery get released, and during the war for a period of time before the ultimate rocket, which is the missiles, the thermonuclear missiles before, and that's going to be the end game afterwards. It's going to be a bit of an exchange and battle before all out nuclear destruction come. So we're going to laugh at the destruction and the civil war going on over here, and the infiltrated soldiers from Russia and China and Iran. So it's going to be destruction going on over here as well, along with that famine. And then that device that you put into your hands that you have to wave to buy and sell. It's not a coincidence that all these things are now converging and layering on top of one another. That's about to explode. At destruction and famine, thou shalt laugh. So we're going to laugh at all this, because the Most High is going to provide for us, and we're just not going to be worried about it through the power of Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua. Through Yahushua that makes this all possible for us to be able to have this kind of spirit and protection. Neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth, because why is that? Because there's going to be animals on the loose as well. And there's animals, because the Most High can just make everything materialize out of thin air too. And there's remote areas and wilderness areas and animals that we haven't seen yet, and animals in the water. Like Leviathan. So that's why they make that movie called Godzilla, because there's a creature that looks similar to that, that's in the water, and most likely it's multiple of them that will arise as well. So it's just far out stuff, and the Israelites will laugh at this, and we're going to be preserved. And the scriptures say that the beasts of the field shall be in league with us, because they're not going to harm the Israelites. The Most High is going to put a spirit and give them the proper compass and GPS of knowing who to attack. So we're going to laugh at all of this that's about to occur and pop off. So did I already get Joel 3 and 10? Okay. Beat your plowshares into swords, because America beat down all these nations and had beat them into submission for a season after World War II, when he dropped that atomic bomb on Japan and Hiroshima and Nagasaki, right? When he dropped that atom bomb, that just changed the game. That never happened before, that kind of weaponry used, and no one had that kind of technology too. And so that put everyone into submission for a season, and they were just doing, just harmlessly, just being in subjection into the whore. And NATO and the EU over there, the European Union, the European countries over there that's allies with America. So beat your plowshares into swords. So after that happened, they over the decades, as we just went into, these other nations that Esau, America, the whore, has had these nations in subjection under. They've been laying low, beginning with Russia, and they've been crafting these bombs as well, the nuclear missiles. And now they beat their plowshares into swords. Now beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. So they have matched and surpassed, even especially with Russia, the military nuclear missiles and weaponry and artillery that America has, and now they're saying that they're strong because they have Russia, backing them, and they're all of the little brothers, all of that eastern region over there, or the little brothers to Russia, and they're all saying they're strong, and they're telling, beginning with Iran, telling America to cease fire. And this place has been very wicked, and they've thought that everything was going to be all good, but that's not the case. They thought they can do evil and wickedness for eternity. Ecclesiastes 8 and 11, because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. It's fully set in them to do evil, and not righteousness. Because they think that, nothing's happened, so it's okay. No, it's not okay. In a moment and in one day, all of a sudden, they're going to be destroyed. Though a sinner do evil 100 times, and his days be prolonged, meaning that, judgment not immediately happening as it used to. That's why that's that grace period that we're under right now, through the blood of Yahushua. But we do that to get right during the great grace period, clean ourselves up, right? And not just have license to sin, which wicked Christianity teaches. And his days be prolonged, yet surely I know that it shall be well with them that fear the Lord, that fear Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, which fear before him. So, it will be well with them. Psalms 37 and 37 mark the perfect man, for the end of that man is peace. But it's going to be war unto the wicked. As scripture say, there is no rest unto the wicked. Verse 13, but it shall not be well with the wicked, neither shall he prolong his days. So that's that all of a sudden in one moment, in one day, which are as a shadow. This kingdom, Esau, he's a shadow. He's going to be gone here one day and gone the next. Which are as a shadow, because he feareth not before Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, and that goes ultimately into Esau Edom, because he's the greatest version of that, on the larger scale. In Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie, though it tarry. So these prophecies were for an appointed time, and that's why people think that because the Most High hasn't been judging everyone for their wickedness, and they thinking that, oh, okay, yeah, see, the laws are done away with. There's nothing happening. No, it's because the Most High it's been a grace period, and the prophecies, you know, the elect have their time to get right, and then the 2/3 and the other rest of the wicked heathen, they're going to have their time to be wicked and sinful, and then the Most High is going to bring that judgment down, you know, according to biblical prophecy. So, so these visions going to start flying off the written. These visions, these prophecies are not on pause mode. The Most High hasn't. He hit the play button now, and everything is full speed ahead. You know, everything is exploding. These prophecies are exploding now. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. So everyone thought that these prophecies that we've been talking about is nothing, but it's proving that the Bible, it's everything reflects perfectly from what the scriptures say. But at the end it shall speak and not lie, though it tarry. Wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. So it's surely coming now, you know. So just the latest updates, you know, of World War III is ramping up, and never before verbal exchanges from the enemies, you know, the enemies of the whore that they've had in subjection. They're rising up now, and they're ready to go ahead and take her down through the Most High stirring it all up. With that being said, I hope this video was edifying. The waters of Rachakodash, Basham Yahushai, for another video. Till next video, I say, Shalom.